Hello everyone, myself Mannat Khanwani from Thadomal Shahani Engineering College. This video is as activity for week 4 under International FDP on Environment and Sustainability. So this video is to apply environment and sustainability aspect to the subject. So in this particular video we are going to see what are CO2 emission by the use of hydrogen fuel cell technology. So what are video outcomes from these three videos? After learning through videos, students will analyze the ISO standards of hydrogen fuel cell with respect to construction and its application, design the hydrogen fuel cell system with respect to life cycle assessment. Then they can examine the features to design sustainable fuel cell system. Also they will be able to establish relation between the energy consumption with respect to carbon emission. As we know, hydrogen fuel cell has a wide application area. So now in this video we are going to focus on its application in road vehicles. So we are going to see what are various ISO standards that are required to be followed when we are using hydrogen fuel cell system for running road vehicles. So next few slides are for ISO standards that are required for safe handling of compressed hydrogen, as hydrogen is compressed in containers. So what are safety measures we need to take? Then there will be standards for specification of different components of fuel system. So we know that from hydrogen container there is pressure relief device, then that connects to the fuel cell. So there are various fittings, regulators, valves. So ISO standards are there for specifying the requirements for these fuel cell components. Then there are some standards that gives us about idea about how to keep environment safer inside and outside the vehicle. So here are the ISO standards that are required to ensure safety from possible hazards while handling compressed hydrogen for fuel cell. As we know the properties of hydrogen, because of them it is necessary to have some safety measures and safety regulations when we are using compressed hydrogen for fueling a fuel cell. These are the standards for that are required, that gives us the requirements for components of fuel cell system. As we know, pressure relieving devices, regulators, valves, fittings, then flexible lines and rigid steel lines, all these are to be manufactured as per the requirements from ISO. So these are the standards for these components. So these are the standards that are required for measuring, for giving a protocol to how to measure the test measurements for energy consumption when we are using fuel cell as the energy provider for running a car. Then next comes there are the standards for that are required to measure the maximum speed that can be attained when we are using hydrogen fuel cell in the vehicle. Then there are another standards that gives us the safety specifications when we are using different mode of hydrogen production system. Life cycle assessment of hydrogen fuel cell. Life cycle assessment is the factual analysis of a product's entire life cycle in terms of sustainability. So there are various steps in which the product is manufactured. In case of hydrogen fuel cell, we need to have some source feedstock for generation of hydrogen. So we can take it either from natural gas source, it can be renewable energy source, or it can be taken as from conventional energy source. So from also from bio waste we can take the methanol plus water, we can use it as a feedstock for hydrogen production. So there are various methods through which hydrogen can be produced, like electrolysis or reformation. So through these we can produce the hydrogen fuel. Then this fuel, hydrogen fuel, is compressed and is distributed. So it can be, the production can be on board, or it can be stored in the containers and can be filled as we fill the gasoline tanks of our car. So from hydrogen stations, we can fill up the hydrogen fuel to our car. Next comes utilization of this hydrogen in fuel cells to generate the electricity or energy for running a car. So this comes the utilization step. Then based on the lifespan of fuel cell, based on the technology through which we are harnessing the hydrogen energy for fuel cell, so based on that we can have the different lifespan for fuel cell. And again then comes, we need to maintain, if we are, when we are using the technology, we need to maintain it so that we can use it for longer time. So we can reuse that by changing various parts of the fuel cell, and we can adopt the newer technology in the current fuel cell. Through that we can reuse that fuel cell stock. Then if it is not working after reuse, we need to dispose. So this is the life cycle of hydrogen fuel cell. So there comes the part of sustainability. So when we will say the fuel, hydrogen fuel cell is sustainable, when we require lesser amount of energy to produce hydrogen for fuel cell. Basically, as we know, the hydrogen does not occur in the free state. It is along with some other molecules, therefore we need to separate it. So but it requires the huge amount of energy, so we need to think about different renewable energy sources for producing hydrogen, such as use methanol for producing the hydrogen. That can, methanol can be taken from biomass, so we can use that kind of energy source. Also we can apply wind energy or solar energy for electrolysis of water. So we can think about renewable sources for feedstock. Then we have to, as we know, the hydrogen is flammable, so we need to design the process so that we can operate it safely. Stability of the system, the system should be stable. Then uh, based on different feedstock, there can be carbon monoxide emission, but though it is negligible, but we need to approach towards zero emission from hydrogen fuel cell. Then comes, we need to have higher efficiency for our fuel cell, because when we are, suppose we are having a system in which we are producing on we are generating the hydrogen site, so it will harness energy for any process. To produce hydrogen, it requires energy, so it will harness energy from the fuel cell itself. So in many cases what happens, 75% of energy is utilized for producing hydrogen from a feedstock. So it should not happen. So much lot of research is going on in this direction, so that we can have higher efficiency of hydrogen fuel cell. Another option can for enhancing the uh, efficiency of hydrogen fuel cell is that we can uh, refill the hydrogen container from hydrogen station instead of on-site generation of hydrogen, because it is much more efficient than on-site generation of hydrogen. Whenever we are using any technology or any process, so the first question in our mind comes that how much time the system is going to sustain, how much time we can use this technology. So in case of fuel cell, it is observed that fuel cell stacks are designed to last the lifetime of a vehicle. That is, it can run till about 250 2 lakh 50,000 to 3 lakh kilometers. So this much time the fuel cell stack can sustain in a road vehicle. The World Health Organization has stated that the maximum amount of greenhouse gases are produced through transportation sector. Therefore, the approach when we are designing any road vehicle, our approach must be such that we are having a system with minimum carbon emission. So in case of hydrogen fuel cell, even if the process of production of energy through hydrogen fuel cell is with zero emission, but one must include carbon footprint created through production of hydrogen fuel for fuel stack. As we know, it is difficult to produce hydrogen. So much energy is to be utilized when we are producing the pure hydrogen. So we must consider the carbon footprint is being created when we are adopting any kind of hydrogen production process. So therefore, based on the process adopted for hydrogen production, one must calculate the carbon emissions at various steps, such as while transportation of feedstock to the to reformer or the electrolysis cell, one must consider the transportation, the carbon footprint that is being created through transportation. Then comes energy consumption in electrolysis or reformation process for hydrogen generation. Then we need to store this hydrogen, and it has to be stored in liquefied condition. Therefore, we must consider the carbon footprint that is resulted through compression of hydrogen fuel. Then, as we know, this hydrogen fuel can be taken from hydrogen fuel stations. So carbon footprint that is resulted from distribution of hydrogen fuel cell, a hydrogen fuel station must be considered. So all these things must be considered when we are calculating the carbon emissions. We know that there is huge difference in generation of carbon or other greenhouse gases when we are running a car through gasoline or combustion engine, or when we are running a car with with fuel cell or any other electric cell car. So there is huge difference in emission of greenhouse gases. Therefore, in Germany, the government has given the norm that automobile companies need to pay for their carbon emission for each car they are producing. So therefore, huge amount of efforts are taken for reducing this carbon emission. Now through this slide, we are going to see, we have taken this example of Hyundai Tucson. So when this particular is running by using gasoline, so what is amount of carbon emission is there? Then if we are using fuel cell, hydrogen fuel cell, then how much amount of carbon is there? And when we are generating this hydrogen from renewable energy source, then what is the amount of carbon emission? So we can see here the comparison for different cars that are being run through um, different techniques. So first is Hyundai Tucson when run through gasoline. So gasoline vehicle emission equivalent is 25. Then same for Hyundai Tucson when it is run through hydrogen fuel cell, through where the hydrogen is taken from natural source, so it is 38. Then Hyundai Tucson, same car is run through hydrogen fuel cell when 33% of hydrogen is taken from renewable energy source, then it is 54. Then when same car is run through hydrogen fuel cell, but here the hydrogen is harnessed through 46% renewable energy, then it is 63. So we can see the huge difference in case of grams of carbon dioxide emitted per mile through car that runs through gasoline is 436, whereas when we are adopting hydrogen fuel cell technology for running a car, it its value is 286, which is much more lesser uh, when the car is running through gasoline. Now, how much amount of emission reduction is there relative to gasoline? So, when we are using hydrogen that is generated through natural source in fuel cell, it is 34%. When we are using the renewable energy source for generating hydrogen, then emission reduction is about 54%. Then when 46% of hydrogen is harnessed from renewable energy source, then the reduction is of 60%. So we can see the huge differences there in case of carbon emission, where when we are using the conventional source for running a car, and when we are using the renewable source which is fueled through hydrogen. So there is huge difference because hydrogen fuel cells has zero emissions. So this is about the whole thing we can see. So one must have to consider uh, what are the different steps through which we are adopting a technology, what are carbon footprints in those steps, so that we can have, even if we say the technology is very sustainable, is environment friendly, but we need to see what are the carbon emissions at various stages of the product or technology. So these are the references. Thank you so much.